भेजिए। राघव।
Okay.
राघव G2 पे अपना डिलीट कर ले और गुनराज वाला फॉरवर्ड कर दे।
Good evening, everyone. I hope my voice is audible. If someone could confirm it in the YouTube chat, we'll just start in a couple of minutes, waiting for more people to join in. All right, I'm just going to do this mic check once again. I hope the volume is better now. Once again, good evening everyone. Welcome to Team Defianz DTUSDC Racing's orientation for this batch. Do stick around till the very end of this orientation. We're not going to take a lot of your time, but if you stick around, we'll also help you solve certain queries that you might have, certain issues. You can also put all your questions in the chat box while the stream is going on. So the team members are also going to solve those queries while the stream is also going on. So try to put as many queries as you can, but we hope that this presentation is going to suffice and is going to solve all issues that you might have. And we're also going to go into the process of how you can join this team. But yeah, let's begin, I think. Can we go to the first slide? So the speakers for this particular orientation will be Rishik, who's the Vice Captain and Vehicle Dynamics Co-Lead of the team, myself, Angad, I'm the Corporate Lead of the team, and Raghav Gakar, who is also the Software Co-Lead of the team. So what exactly are we doing in this orientation today? We're going to keep this very simple. There are three broad questions that you will need answered in this orientation, which will help you understand what this team is. So the first question is, who are we? The second is, what is our goal? And third is, how do we get that goal? How do we achieve that? What is the methodology we use? What are departments, etc. But let's move on to the first question. Who are we? Right. So there are three steps to be a part of this team, and there are three steps that we all have to follow once you are a part of this team as well. First is build a Formula Student car from scratch. Second is to participate in an international competition called Formula Student, which includes international competitions like FS UK, FS Germany, FS Czech Republic, and the national leg of this Formula Student competition that is called Formula Bharat. And the third step is, of course, to win and be the best team out there. And this is exactly the kind of mindset that we follow in this team here is. So there are three steps to this, and it's really simple, at least till now. We're going to delve deeper into this, and we hope that it'll catch imagination. So we believe in people, research, reliability, and innovation. And this is a broad overview of what we do. Next slide, please. So firstly, to understand what exactly are we doing, we need to understand what Formula Student is. So Formula Student is Europe's most established educational engineering competition. It's not just limited to engineering, it's also beyond what you see, beyond the car that you see running on your tracks. But I'm going to get into that a bit later. But what exactly is Formula Student? So there are over 600 teams, from 600 different universities across the world that converge at one particular spot, one particular country at a competition, and they compete in multiple events, the events which will be stored in the next slide. But the notion behind the entire competition is that the enduring process from theory to practical application is something that they test on all teams. So it's widely acknowledged. This particular competition is widely acknowledged in the automotive circuit, and there is a lot of people, a lot of big names that are associated with this competition. The best kind of automobile engineers, motorsports engineers that you see. It's a part of the same sort of collective that also organizes the Formula One competitions that you might have heard about. I'm pretty sure there are some Lewis and Max fans in the crowd. It's also backed by companies such as Jaguar, Airbus, Land Rover, Mercedes, etc. So this competition is the biggest pinnacle, the highest pinnacle of student racing that a team can achieve, winning this competition. And this is exactly what we're aiming for. So we get into the events that happen in this competition on the next slide. Yep. So there are two kind of events that happen in Formula Student. The first one is the static events. Static events means where your car isn't moving; it's static. So you have the engineering design event, you have the cost and manufacturing event, and the business plan presentation event. What do we essentially do in these particular events is we do the documentation of the entire car regarding its cost, its manufacturing, and also the business plan presentation, which is a personal favorite of mine. The BPP involves us to make a business model, entire business model around a car. So it's like creating your own startup, and you have to do all sorts of financials. You have to do all sorts of manufacturing. So you do the entire thing about a startup in theory, and you present it to the panel of judges, and that is what a business plan presentation looks like. But the more fun part is are the dynamic events. The dynamic events involve the car directly, where you have autocross, skid pad, endurance, acceleration, efficiency tests that are performed on the car. So you move the car around the track and they judge you with the times and everything. And this is exactly what we do in the Formula Student competition. I'm sure some of you might have even seen the videos that were spammed on the orientation groups, the videos which showed us performing at those events in the international competitions. This is exactly what you're talking about. And we now move on to the next slide. So what are our achievements throughout the years? We have had a multitude of those because we have been in existence since 2003. So we are one of Asia's oldest teams, and over the years we have had successful seasons continuously. But these are the most recent achievements that we have. Like, I'm not going to go back to 2003 to explain that, but this is just the recent achievements in 2020, 2021, and 2019 that we had. So you can see we were first in FSCV, the FMEA criteria. We are also the 7th overall best team in FSCV by Formula Bharat in India. And in same goes 2020, 2020, we were also still the 7th best team. And in FS UK, we were 28th overall. In FS Bharat, we were 2nd overall. And again, in FS Czech Republic, we were 25th overall in a competition with over 600 teams participating. This is a quick look over our gallery and how we work and what the competitions are. This is just to give you a feel of what it looks like to see your own car, the car that you made from scratch, racing at a circuit, and you have to make repairs on spot. You win, you lose, and this is all a part of the game, and that's exactly what this gallery depicts. You can see our entire team on the top right picture sitting, posing with the trophies that we got for FSCV this year. Even in a year with lockdown, and even in a year where we could not get access to our manufacturing workshops and the manufacturing of the car in general. During that year, we participated, and even then, we won 2 awards, which is a huge thing. Considering that most teams and most other teams, they shut down because of the pandemic and because they could not manually work on the car. And I think this is something that's a great feat for our entire team, that we are still participating, we're still going strong, irrespective of the hurdles that we come across. Next slide, please. So what is our goal? So firstly, our first goal is to complete manufacturing of our electric vehicle, and also a well-developed software stack for autonomous driving. Now, these might sound like technical words which go over your head, but I think everyone here knows that an electric vehicle is the next step in the automotive and in the automobile sector. And that's exactly why we chose to switch from a combustion vehicle that we were making since 2003 to an electric vehicle now, because this is something that is required of us. So we are going to complete the manufacturing of our EV this year. It's going to be an electric Formula style car. And also on top of that, we're also developing a software stack for autonomous driving, which makes the car driverless. So we're also going to be participating in the driverless event in the national competitions, where you will not require a driver to sit in the car and the car will just move around on its own. And also, the second goal is to participate in the Formula Student European competitions. We want to be the first team in India to have a running Formula Student electric vehicle and autonomous car. We want to participate in the competitions that are being held this year in July and August, and these competitions will be held in Germany, Hungary, Czech Republic, all over Europe, and we're going to participate in those competitions as the first Indian team to do so. And we hope we reach that goal. We are pushing to reach that goal. Next slide, please. So how do we reach this goal? Like I mentioned, the third question, the final question that is to answer, is our departments. So we have broadly 4 departments, that is software, corporate, mechanical, and electrical and electronics. And we're going to delve into these departments a bit to make you understand and help you and aid you to choose your department when you're giving the recruitment tests. So we hope that this presentation answers those questions. We first jump into the mechanical departments. I'll give the podium to Rishik to explain the mechanical departments to you. Next slide, please.
Alright, so hi everyone, I'll be covering the mechanical departments. So Gunraj, can we move on to the next slide? Great. So first department is the powertrain of the vehicle, and as the name suggests, it provides power to the vehicle. So it includes everything from the battery pack, the motor controller, the battery management systems, etc., and all the minor components in it, which are essentially used to power up the vehicle. So we'll move on to the next department. Right, so next department is vehicle dynamics. So this department basically deals with optimizing the performance of the vehicle. We deal with four main subsystems, that is the wheels, the steering, the suspension, and the brakes. Gunraj, you can change the slide. Alright, so the next department is aerodynamics, which I think is the most self-explanatory one. So as mentioned in the slide, it's the study of forces and the resulting motion of objects through the air. So here we deal with components like the wings, the side pods, and the diffusers of the vehicle. The goal of this department basically is to increase the downforce and traction of the vehicle. Moving on. The last and final mechanical department is the chassis department. So this is basically the load-bearing framework of the vehicle, which houses all the other departments, whether it be mechanical departments or electronics or software departments in it, forms the foundation of the vehicle. So from here on, Raghav will be taking over and explaining the software and electronic departments.
Hello. Hello everyone. So now talking about the electrical and electronic department. Now the role of the electrical department in an electric vehicle is definitely a central one. Now the work that is done here, it is to make the electric vehicle safe, because now we're dealing at high speeds and we have high voltages. So there are definitely a multitude of parameters that could go wrong. So it is the electrical department and electronics department that ensure that the vehicle is safe. Now, from a technical perspective, what all work is done here? You have to design circuits and validate them. So circuit designing, you have to work with ICs. And once that is done, you have to design PCBs and fabricate them. So now this is mainly the work profile that you'll be having if you're in the electrical department. And definitely then there is coordination with the powertrain department and the software department. Now, next slide, please. Now coming to the software department. Now let me reiterate what we do here. So we are building an electric driverless vehicle. So definitely it is the software department that enables it to go driverless. That is, it is capable for autonomous driving. Here we use state-of-the-art technology. We use robot operating system, machine learning, and a lot of coding is done to ensure that the vehicle can navigate autonomously. Now, can you go to the next slide, please? Here we have a video. This video shows, you can say it is a feat that was achieved by our perception department. So now please play the video. So now as you can see, this car is running. So this is not our car obviously, but you can see the bounding boxes. They are detected by an algorithm that we used. It is, we took the original video, we fed it to a computer vision algorithm, and it was able to detect wherever the cones are. And not just wherever the cones are, also the color of the cone. Now you can see from this video, we are able to detect where is the yellow cone and where is the blue cone. So this is something that we do here. Next slide, please. Now, here you can see now wherever the vehicle travels, it creates a map of where it goes. It is called SLAM, Simultaneous Localization and Mapping. Again, another task that was achieved by our department. So as you can see, it is going in a loop and it is mapping it side by side. Now, what you saw right now, you have seen two different things. One is perception and one is mapping. Now what you're going to see is both of them taking place together. Could you skip ahead 5 seconds, please? Sensor fusion. fusing the data between multiple sensors. Now what is being done, I'm sure a lot of stuff is going on in the video right now, right? It might be a little overwhelming, but what is being done, the camera is seeing everything, it is taking the color information and mapping everything. So again, this is just to brief you about the work that is done by the software department. Next slide, please. Now, talking about the control systems. Now, control systems, you can say, are central to a driverless vehicle because they ensure, because they have to look at all the three aspects, the mechanical, the electrical, and the software. They integrate all these three departments and ensure that the overall error that is taking place, like there might be some approximations from the mechanical side, some from the electrical, and some from the software side, approximations are necessary. It is the control system that controls all these approximations and ensures that everything goes smoothly. Here you work with a lot of equations, differential equations. You move with control system design, feedback loops, and all of that work is done in this system, in this department. Now Angad will tell you more about what is done by the corporate department.
Alright, it's back to me then. So corporate department, as the name suggests, essentially we fetch sponsors and manage the new and existing corporate relations that the team has, because you need money to build a car and at this level. So we need more sponsors, we need people behind us. We have had the privilege of having big names like Honda, KTM, Monster, Maruti Suzuki, Aditya Birla Group, LIC sponsoring our team in the past, and we hope that we can get more sponsors when you guys join the team, when you all join the team and help the corporate department. Second role is the administrative responsibilities, that is being a bridge between the team and the college administration, getting files signed, getting money, etc., etc. The third is the financial management, the workshop management, the BPP that I initially mentioned. The corporate department's duty is to make the entire business plan presentation of that particular competition. You also make the cost reports for that competition. So corporate department handles the static events of the entire competition, while the technical team handles the dynamic events. And that's essentially what the corporate department does. Next slide, please. I think we are done with this. All departments have been covered. You can please feel free to shoot your queries in the chat box or on any of the orientation groups. You can also message any of the numbers that were mentioned in the spam message. I think Rohan and my contact were given, so you can go ahead and message us as well if you don't feel comfortable in the chat. Please ask as many questions as you can. We hope we can answer your questions. The recruitment test will be held very soon. We're going to release the date and the time of the recruitment test on the WhatsApp groups by today itself, and we hope to see all of you there. Thank you so much for attending this presentation, and all the best for recruitments.